in my face.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Wednesday night in America, Thursday morning in Australia. I'm here with the fabulous Nicole Remini. Girl, how you doing?
I'm good, baby. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm better now that you're here.
You're the best, I tell you. I freaking love you.
I love you more. Let's just do this for the whole hour and just
For
tell
the
each
whole
other how
hour,
much we love each other. Yes.
love each other.
We'll just do that. It'll be fun. And of course, tonight, guys, we have the regular crazy crew with us. We've got Luke, we've got Katie, we've got Caitlin, and we may have Stephanie.
Look at that. Wow, there's quite the crew here.
Yeah, we rotate. There's even more people. It gets
Yeah,
a little crazy.
we're like getting quite a harem going for you, aren't we, Jeff?
Everybody
Or a
was
motley
like,
crew.
Motley
Yeah.
crew works, yes.
So
Love
I'm
it.
super excited to have Nicole on tonight
Oh, the
because
last one.
we've been talking about health and wellness really a lot on the show. And Nicole actually had a post one day that I kind of fell in love with and just kind of messaged her and asked her what it was about. And we kind of went from there, right? Like, and really talked about all these things that I'd never even thought of, didn't realize the toxins and the bad chemicals that are in our house that we think are safe. And it was you who kind of like woke me up to like, no, boo.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? And it's like people don't realize, and I'll tell you as we kind of dig into this a little bit, during the coronavirus, the way poison control numbers have like, I don't know where to look on my iPad. So I'm like looking all over.
You gotta find
The
that camera lens.
it's like what?
Yeah.
So poison control numbers are through the roof right now. Even more so since the coronavirus started. So it's just been really opening my eyes more. And more people are reaching out to me going, what are you using? What are you doing? And I'll get into my why. I mean, I'll let you lead your show.
No,
But
do it.
okay, cool. So a little bit about me for people who are like, who the heck is Nicole Remini? Well, you'd have to be under a rock here in America not to know who a Remini is. But
Gonna say, girl, we got some controversy
I
going
know
on
who a
this
Remini
show.
is.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, good.
And I want to ask you later. I don't know if you want to talk about today, like a little bit about like Scientology as well, if you wanted to speak. Yeah.
We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm kind of an open book.
Did you hear it come out? She's like, we can talk.
We can talk. My Brooklyn will come. But just a little bit about me and really why I even ended up where I ended up. I mean, my background is TV and radio. I mean, I hosted radio shows for a while. I had a podcast there for a minute. But my family, we've done a lot of reality television. I mean, most recently it was the Scientology and the Aftermath with my sister, and I'm in season 2, but also in season 3, the very first episode. So you could always, Netflix is picking that up. They're a plug for my sister.
Hey.
So Scientology and the Aftermath, November 1st, Netflix is picking up the series. So,
cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that I was really excited to hear about that. Because I just think the word has to get out, really what's going on there. Because I think it really is one of those things where people kind of get sucked in. But a whole nother subject, we can talk about that later. But
I love your accent. I'm sorry, I just love it.
It's so funny. It's only 6 o'clock, but it's like 2 hours from bedtime for me. So I'm like, So, and my husband will tell you, it's like if we're out and it's 7:50, he's like, like witching hour, because literally 8 o'clock, like I'm a top comes to sleeping. So
I'm gonna say it's like almost narcolepsy. You're just done.
like 7:59. Yeah. So we have 5 kids. I know that's hard to believe, but no, we do. We have 5 children, and honestly,
God bless you.
Thank you. So that was really important, just kind of looking for better, cleaner, greener products. I think a lot of people they try and make good decisions, right? But then also I lost a sister 4 years ago at 34 years old to lung and brain cancer, and she didn't even smoke, so you're like, how does a 4-year-old die of lung cancer? And then when you look at cancer rates in children and cancer rates in adults, I call him our birth father. Sorry I know that offends some fathers sometimes, but my stepfather is me. So
Not this crew.
All right, good. Well, I have people write me and go, that's not really nice to say about your dad. I'm like, oh, was he really a dad? But anyway, so there's like really my dad. So, but my birth father died of cancer. My grandfather died of cancer. My uncle died of cancer. My cousin now has prostate cancer. You know, so it's one of those things where you go, what in the world is happening? Childhood cancers are up. Breast cancer numbers are up, you know, and even more and more with all the education today, still, you know, breast cancer numbers are so up. And when you start really digging into that research and where money goes, and don't even get me started, that's a whole nother with, you know, the milk and dairy industry and cancer and Susan G. Komen and the Yoplait, and whole nother subject for me. But so it was just one of those things where I was like, you know, ADD, ADHD, all these things, right? Teachers are constantly pushing kids, you know, ADD, ADHD, medicate them. They need to go to special classes, but it's like, okay, there has to be more to the story. So after our sister died, we started kind of digging into ingredients. And that's really what led me to the company that I decided to partner with. And so, and I never intended on really sharing this. I never intended on talking about it ever. But it just became one of those things where it's like my lifetime of headaches and migraines were gone in a month. My like skin irritations that I was having completely gone. You know, it's like, it's so insane. But again, the more I started digging into it, the more I was like, why am I not talking to people about this? And so, and that's how Jeff and I started talking, because I had posted it on social media, because I'm always like, Dawn dish soap, #1 poisoner of children in the US. And then like, I don't hear from people. And I'm like, how does that not concern you that I just said that? Like, you know,
right.
It surprises me that it's like, I've met with moms that will literally say to me, I will do anything to get rid of my kids' migraines. Oh, but I can't use Tide? It's like, okay, so you will do anything to help your kids with their migraines, or you're not going to do anything? You know, it's like, it's so eye-opening to me. And so, like I said, just the more and more I started digging into products and ingredients, it just was very, very eye-opening. And so I did think that I wanted to start writing a book about it, and I'm telling you, I've shared this with thousands and thousands of people. And it's just, every time I talk to somebody, they're like, this is mind-blowing. Because you just think, you go to a store, you buy your method, and you're like, cool, I'm good. Isn't that a green product? You know, oh, 7th generation. And then I tell people, you know, 7th generation's been sued like multiple times for making kids sick. And, you know, and then when I tell people methods on their second lawsuit as of May 2020, and people will then go, well, what do you use? You know, and that's kind of, again, what really led us here. So I don't know if anybody has any questions, because I can just talk on and on for a straight hour.
Oh, look, Nicole, I think, like, you know, even in water, like, there's chemicals. And, like, I have a friend who distills her water. Like, she actually distills it. And she showed us the other day in the distiller, like, it was just tap water that she'd distilled for 5 hours. There was chemicals sitting in the thing. So I guess everyone just becomes complacent with consuming them. But especially like in your family's case, there's obviously a predisposition, genetic predisposition for cancer. You have to be really careful with what you're introducing into your body. Yeah, I just think a lot of people are complacent because, and it's always that old adage, you know, the saying, it won't affect me.
Right. And that's what, and things, were you going to say something, Jeff?
Well, no, just like with Luke being in Australia when he came over here last year, he
what I was eating.
Was on like a junk food binge and fast food, because he's like, we don't have this at home. We don't have all this crap with all these.
Well, we got crappy food, but not to the degree that, like, you know, when you go into Walmart, like, you know, here you're not even allowed to market junk food with cartoon characters and stuff. So there's no Paw Patrol lollies and things like that. No, because they don't want little kids to obviously want them just for the fact that it's got a commercial license.
Exactly.
So, like, I just thought I found it, it was a novelty that I could do that, you know, like, ask my daughter, does she want to have Paw Patrol chocolates and stuff like that?
I get that, because I get people writing me from Germany all the time going, can you please help me switch over to whatever you're using? I mean, I get more people from overseas writing all the time. You know, the thing that I start telling people is that you don't want to wait until you get sick for you to now need to switch over. And that's what I find is that people will they'll say, well, I'm fine, you know, I don't have cancer, or I'm fine because I don't ever feel inflammation in the body. But it's like, I always tell people, you really want to know how toxic chemicals are going to flow through the body. Take a piece of garlic, put it between your toes, see how fast you taste it. It's 24 seconds before chemicals or anything is absorbed into the bloodstream through your skin. Skin is our biggest organ. So it's just going through there. And then when you really want to upset people, tell them how when they're pregnant, that all of the toxic chemicals that they're using on a regular basis is literally absorbing through the umbilical cord into the baby. And babies are born with X amount of toxic chemicals in their body just from what mom was using. And I'm talking Dawn dish soap, and I'm talking Tide, and I'm talking your methods. You know, and I love when people say to me, well, I don't clean my house, my cleaning lady does. I'm like, is it not in the air?
Yeah. It's
What's
still
she cleaning
there.
it with?
Yeah,
Oh, she
it's
just
still
doesn't. I
there.
have to look at them.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to try that garlic in between the toes trick.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Everyone's going to go home now and like, oh, get off here and stick garlic between their
It's
toes.
amazing. It's like, I've had people do it, and they're like, that's crazy. I'm like,
I'm gonna report back.
please do. The thing is, European standards are so different than the US. Like since 1938, there's been no regulations in the US that forbids manufacturers from putting toxic chemicals in products. One of the like crazy, like naughty ingredients that people don't realize is fragrance. Fragrance is the one ingredient that a manufacturer does not have to tell you what it is legally. So if you were to call Johnson & Johnson and say, what is the smell, or they don't have to tell you. They legally, by law, don't have to tell you. So I always think that that's really interesting when people, I can tell you, I'll be in a room full of mamas and I'll say, okay, how many daughters have had PCOS, cysts on their ovaries, that type of thing, right?
Yep.
And so I will tell you 8 out of 10 moms will raise their hands. I'll then say, how many of your daughters shop at Bath and Body Works? They all raise their hand. Because they don't realize that it is like the hormones that are being messed with. How many of you have daughters or friends, right? And you see their daughters and you're like, she's only 9. She looks like she's like 18 years old, right? You know, she's grown and she's developed. It's because of what just phthalates alone do to the body. Because phthalates reproduce estrogen in us as women. When we have too much estrogen, we end up with headaches, migraines, weight gain, cysts on our ovaries. We're premenopausal. Men can end up with prostate cancer. You know, you look at parabens. I was watching a documentary. This is a great documentary. It's called Toxic Beauty. And they had like a petri dish of cancer cells. And they put parabens in the petri dish. And the cancer came to life. Because that's what parabens do in the body. And
It's
parabens
insane.
is what?
It's insane.
It's insane. This is what makes products soft and creamy. Shampoos, conditioners, bubble baths. So I think about we've been bathing our children in literal, like something that makes cancer come to life. We're like marinating them. It's like, it's so crazy. Yeah, Jennifer Mulholland just said, she couldn't even pronounce the crap they put in detergent. And it's true. And you know what's crazy about detergent? About 8 months ago, a study came out about detergent. And it said, no matter what detergent you're using on retail shelves, it could be dye-free, scent-free, doesn't matter, does not matter. It is directly linked to eczema, rosacea, psoriasis. It's directly linked to ADD, ADHD, dryer sheets. Oh wait, lung cancer and cancer, because you're breathing in those toxins that are just sitting on your clothes. And a lot of people don't know this. This is always my little fun fact. Laundry detergent on store shelves has little shards of glass in it. Those little shards of glass is what makes your whites look whiter and your brights look brighter. So it's such a farce of what's going on out there, and people don't get it. My godmother had ovarian cancer. Her oncologist asked her, do you use dryer sheets? So we personally, as a family, we just decided we need to find better options. So when I was approached by this wellness company, they were like, listen, we'd love for you to share our products. Share it, don't share it. And that's what I always tell people. Share it, don't share it. I don't care.
But Nicole, wait, do you guys do washing powder?
We do it's liquid, not powder, but it's
liquid's fine. Just because my daughter is lately getting like a rash on her back that's been recurrent. So I've actually treated it with antibiotics. and it's came back again. I've been using the same laundry powder since she was a baby.
Yeah.
So, but whether she's just, become allergic to that, I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at now just removing stuff and seeing what the cause is, because we don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
there's sometimes there are residuals that remain even after your washing as well, and they can change just the tiniest piece to their formulary or their cocktail, and that's all it takes. I mean, our son is only 2, Nicole, and he has eczema. He's had it since he was born. So, we have to be very, very careful with him, because it is the slightest thing. If his bath water temperature is off by as little as 5 degrees, he'll have a flare.
And
So,
and that's Gabe had eczema too. And when Nicole and I got together, I did this. I kind of switched my whole house and changed out all the products. And Gabe's eczema is gone.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the company that we won't say the name of, but they have some really beautiful products, and we actually started using them in my parents' home when my mother was diagnosed with lung cancer, and have continued to use them since. And while for a lot of products, you do spend a little bit more in the short term if you're looking at just a snapshot, but that peace of mind and that knowledge of what you're actually using,
it's
and
huge.
knowing that you're protecting your family, that you're not adding an accelerant to the potential for those cancer cells to bloom is monumental.
Well, here's the thing, though. Even when you're talking about price, like, one of the things that I loved, because I have a house full of boys. I had the daycare, and in my downstairs bathroom at home, I have a wood floor, which is the worst thing you could possibly have in a bathroom, especially with 3 boys, right? And some adults, males around too. And I'm not talking about me. Okay. The bathroom.
We know, darling. You don't throw shade at yourself.
Wretched. Okay. So I was constantly trying to get the smell out of the bathroom. I'm using everything under the sun. So when I switched the house over, I got this product, this bathroom cleaner, and I used it. The smell was instantly gone. And I called my one girlfriend up because she was waiting, because we were waiting for me to get the stuff to check it out. And instantly, it was gone. The smell of urine that was saturated in the wood. I gotta worry about kids and adults. You know what I'm saying? So listen. So the bathroom clinic.
That was a potential culprit.
Now we got. It's their 20th anniversary today, and they just got back.
Happy anniversary!
Yeah. So they're having fun tonight.
Oh, good for them.
So the bathroom product was amazing. The laundry soap got rid of Gabe's eczema. So, I've been able to now use this stuff and live with it. And it actually really genuinely works. And I don't worry about what's in the products anymore.
Yeah. And that's what's really nice too. And what's really nice is that, like, a lot of the products, like their disinfectant was approved by the EPA to kill 99.9% of household germs, including salmonella, flu virus, HIV, and you can use it against the coronavirus. So the government said, if you're using Lysol or if you're using Clorox, you can use this. And it's a food grade product. So you're not poisoning your family by spraying it in your house while you're trying to kill germs. So that's the thing that's really cool too. But, going back to like the eczema and stuff, a lot of times I'll tell parents, do probiotics, right? Because what's going on in the gut also shows up in the skin. So that's really important too. We have a lotion. I have it somewhere. We have a lotion that we use, and it's completely plant-based. It has melaleuca oil in it, so it's natural. There's no parabens, there's no phthalates, and it's gotten rid of people's eczema within 24 to 48 hours. And
it's a godsend. It's a godsend.
So it's like, for me, the way I look at it is, if I can get a product that doesn't have any toxic chemicals that I'm putting on my face, that I'm putting on my hair, trickling down on my body, right? And then whatever I'm putting on my body, we also eat we're a pretty clean eating family anyway. Trust me, I like my Taco Bell, but We are. But we, like, if I can buy non-toxic plant-based, like, I'm all for it. And it's just not available on retail stores. So even if you're going to Whole Foods, if you're going to Target and Walmart and Trader Joe's, as much as I love Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, they were just on a list of some of the most dangerous dish products to buy. They were on a list like top 10. So that to me is very concerning. You know, what do you call it? Hand sanitizer, you guys. I mean, the numbers at Poison Control in the very first, 25 days of coronavirus, the numbers were up 40%, Poison Control numbers, because of the use of Lysol, Clorox, and hand sanitizer, because kids were going blind. And just even the overuse. And it was a temporary blindness. The FDA in America came out with a list of 75 hand sanitizers to toss immediately. And so, praise the Lord, we were not on that list. But because we're at 97% plant-based, so why would we? You know,
Right.
And it still kills 99.99% of bad bacteria. So there's options out there, and people just have to ask. You know, you've got to be so incredibly diligent. You know, even my sister. So I just got diagnosed with Lyme disease. I've had it, I guess, forever, and nobody diagnosed me with it. And my sister said to me, you should be writing a book about because it took 2.5 years to get a diagnosis. And so thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars out of pocket to get it figured out. And Leah was like, you should write a book about just
Nicole, it's funny you bring up Lyme disease, because they're saying that we don't have it here in Australia. My friend's daughter has just been diagnosed, and you know where they had to get the diagnosis? They actually had to send blood to labs in Canada, because here refused to acknowledge that, it is actually a problem here as well.
Well, Luke, what's crazy about that? Even here in America, if you test positive 4 out of the 6 markers, you will not get treated. And I'm talking about the best hospitals in the United States will not treat you. My doctor, who works for the hospital in the U.S., secretly sent me to a specialist. He said, you can't tell anybody that I'm telling you about this. Sent me to this guy who did, I can't even believe I'm saying this out loud, $8,000 in blood work.
Holy shit.
Gosh.
Guys, it sounds like a lot, but that could be as little as a dozen tests. Realistically.
It was 25 vials. I was like, how do I still have blood in my body?
Oh,
and
my
then they
God.
did but it was that much, and I had to pay $4,900 out of pocket because insurance won't cover certain Lyme disease. But anyway, so it came back positive. So you really have to find just the right doctor, because like I said, I go to the hospital to the world, and he had to send me somewhere else because they would not treat me, even though the doctor they sent me to for a Lyme disease test, 3 out of the 6 markers came out positive. That's not enough for them.
So what's your treatment looking like for that?
Well, I'm actually waiting for it. It's going to be 8 weeks of intense IVs and some like red light therapy, and it's going to be a lot of detoxing and just trying to get it out of the body. So that's going to be a big part of the body. So, but this is kind of the crazy thing. I know we weren't planning on talking about this, but only 34% of people actually get bit by a tick, which I thought was very.
I was just going to ask you, were you bit by a tick?
I've never had that circle on me ever, but you know where they said I probably got it from? From this amazing husband of mine.
So, girl, what's he been doing with the ticks?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, what more are you going to give me in life?
I saw that picture of what he was doing.
But it can be so, like, Lyme disease manifests so differently in everybody. I mean, look what it did to Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Like, she's the first one to say she'll never sing the same again.
Yeah.
Because of what it did to her body. Like,
Well, the complicated girl got it too there. Avril Lavigne.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy. And for me, we were in the Dominican Republic, and I got hit really hard with what I thought was bronchitis. And then we came home, and I went to Vegas for a weekend with my sister. And while I was in the pool, I got hit with what I thought was vertigo. And that's when it all started. And so, and I have been like this kind of blurry vision, kind of dizziness, just not quite stable. You know, it's a really weird thing. Some days I can't get off the couch. Other days I'm like, I feel like, okay, I could work out. I can do the things that I want to do. Other days I'm like, you need to drive me to my hair appointment. You know, it just depends on the day. You never know. So that's why too, it's like going back to, you know, getting into the non-toxic thing, you know, was one of those things where I started looking too, like maybe there's things that I'm using that are affecting my body. And so I just wanted to be as clean as possible. So if it's the Lyme, let's just handle the Lyme. And I'll tell you, they did blood work on toxic chemicals in my body. Nothing came up. So
That's amazing.
Which is awesome.
Incredible.
Well,
So,
I think,
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, is the IVs and the red light, is that part of the holistic treatment, or are you doing holistic along with it?
That's part of, you know, I'm still waiting to hear. They were supposed to actually send me today what the 8 weeks is going to look like. I know when I went to this particular facility, like people that are like, the hospital is like, we can't help you with your cancer. They send them there. When they're very big in cancer and Lyme disease, and everybody there was on some sort of IVs. But I know there are going to be vitamins, but I know that there's some sort of antibiotic treatment that goes along with it as well. And again, the red light therapy to kind of sweat out any of that excess stuff, you know, will be there too. And so any sort of bacteria, it's weird.
Steph,
I need to go to
made
them.
a question here. So she's obviously dropped out. Her connection's not working. Leah, did you have any vaccinations around that time? I think she's maybe
Nicole?
implying that, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh, Leah, sorry, Nicole.
So my sister's Leah, but Stephanie, that's okay. It happens all the time. No, I did not have any vaccinations around that time. So no.
No, and I think that's going down like an anti-vaxxer route, and I don't think that's what we're discussing here at all.
And you know, oh, sorry, Nicole, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it was really, like I said, I'm a pretty, you know, healthy person, and I'm not anti, like, if people want to get the flu shot, get the flu shot. I try and not put anything in my body that I don't have to.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I never get the flu, so I'm not going to get the flu vaccine. You know, I'm not a flu person, you know, so I don't do vaccines. I didn't need one to go overseas. I've been to Guatemala. There was like one shot like my daughter had to get, but there was nothing I had to get when I went. I went there on a mission trip for a month, and you know, I didn't have to do anything weird there either. Not a problem. Stephanie, apologize. Not a problem. It happens all the time. So it's funny because people will call my sister Nicole, so it all evens out. But no, it's a Lyme disease thing. I mean, it's like I said, we've had so many tests, like we know for sure that's what it is. And that's where it came from. And the test results they said it was a European Lyme. So how about that? But yeah, so kind of crazy. But anyway, just, you know, with the whole, like, you know, toxic thing, I just think, like, for us, it was a very good choice. Like I said, I mean, everything, my makeup to my body products and my husband's to, you know, I'm not a big essential oil person, but I do use our essential oils for allergies. But it's more about, you know, how do we just keep cancer at bay? How do we keep ADD, ADHD at bay? How do we help people with eczema, rosacea, psoriasis? And, you know, honestly, too, fibromyalgia, lupus, MS, Graves' disease. People don't realize the amount of inflammation that is contributing just from toxic chemicals in their house. They don't understand when they're like sitting in a bubble bath to relax, you know, and they're exposed to all these chemicals, you know, it's like really what you're doing to your autoimmune diseases. So it's just, it's such an important thing.
Look, and I think there's absolutely no harm in wanting to, like, you know, because as I said, a lot of people have blinders on. They're not really caring about what we consume because, you know, a lot of the time it doesn't manifest until so much later on in our life that people are just ignorant to the fact that, you know, a lot of the stuff that is out there is not good for us. And And once again, it just comes down to, oh well, it's not going to affect me, so who cares?
Right. I was just going to add that I think it's nice that you get to like do both. You get to do the medication and the holistic treatment. I mean, if they both help, what is the harm? You know?
Right. Yeah. That combination of therapy, you know, between the holistic and the Western medicine is really a great a duality of treatment. I think it's a wonderful thing.
I have definitely mixed it before too, and found better results doing both instead of just one, honestly.
Yeah.
Right. So Nicole, I'm an RN, just to give you a little background there. But in using antibiotics and stuff.
Really?
Yes.
Do you know who my customers are?
Who's that?
Nurses and teachers, my two biggest customers.
Oh, there you go.
I can believe that. So the only thing.
And the gays.
So just before it slips my mind, because that happens a lot. With using antibiotic treatment, you had mentioned probiotics before. So if you don't take them routinely, you might want to consider that just for GI protection.
Oh yeah, I do. I absolutely do.
Yeah, because the last thing you need on top of the Lyme disease is any kind of, C. diff or any of the other nastiness that can come along with antibiotics.
Absolutely. So. And that's things that we are doing with the Lyme is we actually are focusing on gut health as well. But I do fiber, antibiotics, I do digestive enzymes. Like I'm crazy like gut health. Very, very particular in regards to what I eat because I know how my gut's going to respond. So yes, I'm really big about that too.
Wonderful.
I think that is so important to know your body that well, because sometimes the best treatment is just good food.
Yeah. And we're all about our greens. Like it's funny because we do a lot of greens in this house. Like even today, I made like the guts of what would be in like an egg roll, like with chicken, but with all greens, you know?
That sounds so good.
It does sound good.
Without the naughty outside shell, you know?
Listen, I'm one of those people that's kind of crazy and actually enjoys kale. So I'm sorry, it's good. Okay, it's good.
No.
Yes, it's good.
I've tried. I can't do it.
You do a little lemon on it to take out the bitterness. It's really, really good.
No, I don't like the texture.
Kale chips.
Kale chips are where it's at.
I can't.
Now that I have an air fryer, I wonder if I could make them in there. Probably take a lot less time.
Thank you. Put it in your smoothies, Jeff. Put it in your smoothies.
No, I'm not doing that. Me and Kale are just not going to be. It's not going to. Listen, I'll eat spinach. I'll eat leafy greens, but I'm not. Me and Kale, we're just not together. It's like my ex-husband. It's not going to work out. We're never, ever getting back together.
Okay, Taylor.
I can't. I can't.
Yeah, Taylor.
What's that one soup that's got the kale in it? Oh my God, it was Joe's favorite. He's like, no.
I make a chicken noodle soup with kale in it, and it's amazing.
What soup has kale in it?
I put it in my chicken noodle soup.
Is something or another.
You can put kale in everything. Come on, Nicole, back me up on this.
You can make chips out of kale.
Because I would totally put kale in my chicken soup. Italian, so I have to put a lot of cheese in it. So
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
all right.
Girl after my own heart. Yes.
I put some Parmesan cheese on anything. It's fantastic.
You get me. You get me.
Olive oil, Parmesan cheese, oven.
Yes. Have you ever done it with Asiago cheese, Nicole?
Ooh. Get me all excited.
The Asiago cheese is stellar with it.
Oh, I have to try that.
I love to roast broccoli and all kinds of veggies, but
I'm passionate about cheese, so this is getting me all excited.
Me too, baby. Me too.
I'll need some help.
There's not a lot of food I'm not passionate about, let's be honest.
No, talking about clean eating, Nicole. Like one of the things I found it was a while ago now, was the cookbooks by Natalia Rose, where it's the raw detox diet and eating, and that kind of started that journey of really wanting to protect my children and realizing all of the shit that is in our food that we're feeding these kids, And then I have kids with behavioral management issues, with ADD.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to see that when their diet is healthy and wholesome, the behaviors cut back. But if somebody hands them candy or whatever, you know, because they had candy before they were with me, you know, the little one is a little easier, but the behaviors just spike right up. I mean, any amount of sugar sends them over to the moon.
But if
insane.
it's goldfish, that little one is all over it.
And I hate that.
Katie loves his
processed
goldfish.
crap. It's processed shit. And I like tell them, I'm like, boys, this is not good for you. Do you see how fat Daddy is? Like, you know how Daddy lost all that weight after Daddy the other Daddy split up, and I got really skinny, and then I got sick, and it took them 3 months to figure out the blood work, and the weight can't. Do you want to end up fat like Dad? No.
Oh, child, you should not scare them. Teach them. Don't scare them.
No, because they need to know. Like, it's the harsh reality of it. You know what? Maybe my mother should have stop buying those damn Oreos. Okay, that's what should have been happening.
Yeah, I'm all about scaring the crap out of your kids.
That's the Italian in you.
Yes, I tell my kids. Our grandfather was an alcoholic, so like I never really got into drinking because like he was at the point where it was like coming out of his pores, you know.
Oh yeah.
That type. So I used to tell my kids, like, if you drink, you're going to get fat and stupid. So I would always, when like they got with their friends, I'd be like, now remember, you don't want to be fat and stupid, right? And people would say, what are you telling your kids? And they go, well, Mom doesn't want us to drink. So like they always knew fat and stupid was the equivalent of alcohol.
That could be my problem. I'm just saying. Like, if you know, like, I don't have them lit up tonight, but there's a bunch of wine bottles.
Yeah, you can't miss those, Jeff. Sorry.
Yeah.
They're right there.
You can still see them.
You've really settled into Missouri, haven't you?
No. I'm on a vacation.
Oh, you
I have
troublemaker,
not
Luke.
moved. I'm on a vacation.
Yeah, be careful.
No, you are on a hiatus, is what you're on.
Yeah.
He's on holiday.
Listen, I'm not the only shit sir, okay? Because Nicole's family's over there wreaking havoc. We had
We did.
What's going on? Is it cutting out for everybody, or was it just?
No, you're fine now. No, you press for a second. You're fine.
Girl,
your audio's working.
There we go. There you go. You're going now.
Yeah, no.
Jeff.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Jeffrey?
Oh,
he doesn't know.
I can't tell if he's frozen or just standing still.
He's just messing with us. He's just screwing with us.
Oh, Jeff, you son of a...
I was like trying to be Kim Cattrall for a mannequin. No, but I mean, you know, like we just got into it briefly for a second earlier. To touch on, you know, to come through all what you've come through in your family.
Yeah.
And to kind of turn it around, and like you were just talking about not drinking, the healthy lifestyle, you know, and getting rid of not just toxins and literal chemicals, but the manifest of it too, with all of the unhealthy negative behavior.
Yeah.
How important that is. And you're constantly sending a message of love and support. And I just think it's amazing. Like, you know, when you talk about, you know, it doesn't matter who you vote for and stuff. Like, you're always a light of positivity to me. And I love your posts.
Thank you so much. Well, Instagram, I guess, didn't, because they shut me down.
What?
Instagram, I woke up on October 1st and all my Instagram was just shut down. So they tended to.
Oh, wow.
I call myself.
Kirstie Alley.
Right? I tell you. I call myself like a light conservative on social media. Like, I am like not out there. You know, like Jeff said, I am all about how do you treat people? I don't care if you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, if you're black, you're white, you're gay, you're blah, 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 blah. What, I don't care about any of that crap. What I care about is how you treat other people. And so to me, that's how I operate in life that's how I surround myself with people. So, but somebody said to me, oh, all of my conservative friends seem to have lost their Instagram. And I'm like, I hardly say anything. I'm pretty positive. Like I lost all of my Instagram followers. So I had to start a new account. So I went from 20,000 plus followers to 200 followers.
Oh, I'm sure you'll build that right back up.
We're beating you here, girl, because we've got like 60 or something ridiculous because we haven't been using Instagram properly. We're only just starting now. Because
I've had pictures on there since day one, and they're all gone now.
Well, I had that when we originally started this. Like I did it like in 2011 or 12 or whatever year. Instagram really kind of took off, and it got hacked by Russians. My brother's like, "Yo, dude, there's like naked Russian women on your Instagram account." I had it, the same thing. I had to do a new one.
Followers.
If Russian wants to follow me, I'm all for it. I can use the followers right now. But even when my sister was doing her book tour, her Troublemaker tour, I was on
fantastic book.
Oh, thank you.
Agreed.
And I don't curse that much. So my sister, Holy Hannah, 5 freaking chapters of me and the F word. So, so I'm like, Lee, gosh. But anyway, so we were in New York on the book tour, and I log on to Instagram. My face is now a penis, and there's all these pictures of men. So I got hacked.
That's terrible.
I hang out with, where's my sister? So but now, when I lost Instagram, Mom's Twitter got hacked. So maybe I'm like, maybe it wasn't, Instagram. Maybe I got hacked. I don't know. So
I just think hacking's becoming a huge thing because look, I had my PayPal hacked the other day, and like I've had it for 17 years, and they stole $1,500 out of my account. I got it back. My bank reversed it. Okay, but they and it was somebody in India. Like they tried to transfer it in rupees first, and that bounced. So then they did it in Australian dollars. And but like you just nothing's secure, and that's why I was like, I want to close the account. And it took a little while with PayPal. I had to file a police report and everything to show, like, look, because PayPal still wanted the money. Then they were like, well, we've honored the payment. We want the money back. I'm like, well, no, because they're a thief. Right, why are we paying a thief?
Someone tried to hack my MySpace.
Who cares if they hack MySpace? No one's going to care.
Go take those emo photos, child. I don't want them.
I have some great photos on MySpace. Okay, I was rather thin, so I would be upset. But I mean, I would think like I would be so terrified, Nicole. Like, would just I'd be like afraid, some crazy Scientologist coming to like get your account and like sabotage you. Honestly, and I say that with love and allegedly.
No, I agree 100. That was my first thought because my mom, because Leah started her podcast.
Yes.
Like that same time, and so I lost Instagram, and then Mom got hacked on Twitter. So, so I did think that. And when I got hacked the first time, when they did my change my picture, put all naked men on my page,
sounds like a dream.
But we just figured it was it was Scientology. And I mean,
do you guys ever, do you and Lee ever have any what's repercussions from Scientology? Because I know a lot of people are so like once they're in that system, they don't want to speak about it. It's all so hush and I don't know. Like, is it something that exiting is really dangerous? Like, I haven't watched the doco yet. I really need to watch it.
Luke,
I know.
What are you laughing?
Well, they're bringing it to Netflix, so I'm going to watch it now.
Because Luke's yelling.
What?
He's so loud.
Oh,
am I? Oh, sorry.
You're very loud.
You're not loud to me, Luke. But
okay, I'll put my mic out here.
But your question is legit, and it's very dangerous to leave Scientology. When I left before my family did. So it's like one of the things Leah talks about is like she'll always say like Nicole was the smart one, like she left before all of us. And it was one of those things where my whole life I was like, this just doesn't fit. There's something like emotionally, physically, spiritually that just wasn't feeling good. And I'm pretty good at that stuff. Like I could have a feeling like this doesn't feel right. I'm just not doing it, and I really have learned to trust that. So I left way before they did, and I moved to Minnesota. And I was like, I'm going to raise my kids here because I don't want because it was getting to the point where my family was starting to want my kids to be Scientologists. And I just didn't want that. So it's one of the reasons why I left. But since Leah, was so in, and my mom and everybody was so in, they didn't bother me. So it was kind of interesting. But
Yeah.
when
You were sort of buffered. You're able to leave quietly.
Because they didn't want to upset. So
I remember watching her documentary when it first came out, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the gentleman's name that was with her that helped her with that documentary. And and they're being followed like really closely, and like you could tell she looked nervous.
Well, I mean, it's stuff that they're experiencing even today. So, so it's stuff that they're going through today. You know, Leah's assistant was in, she had, I mean, it's out there, it's public knowledge. I mean, she was in a lawsuit with them. So, you know, she was having some issues. You know, when the documentary first came out, we would have like random cars like in front of our street with no people in it. And we didn't really live on a block that somebody would park in front of our house. And so the police would come and they would look and they're like, we have no idea where these people are. And then when they were looking at, you know, it's like we'd go inside for 2 minutes and then the car would be gone. Like crazy, weird things like that.
Nicole, do you think, like I want to ask, do you think Scientology really targets and wants to bring in people with influence and money?
100%.
Because, you know, because, you know, you don't hear about like the homeless guy down the street's a Scientologist, do you?
No, he can afford it. And they wouldn't give it to him for free. So that's, you know, when they talk about being a church, I mean, that's a great example, Luke, right? Because if the homeless guy on the street said, I want to change my life, I hear you do that and you help people to better themselves. They would say, do you have access to a credit card, checking account? They would never in a million years even give him a drink of water. That's just
that's crazy. And that says it all there, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's just the people they are.
I think it's so brave you guys speaking out like this because they do have a lot of pull and you know.
Well, and it was always crazy because like we became Facebook friends years ago, and you would always talk about God and you know your spirituality a little bit. You'd post stuff, and I'm like, because it was before Leah, you know, left the church or anything. So I was like, that's interesting that you had already kind of walked away from it.
When we were little, we were raised Catholic by our grandmother. So my mom is Jewish and my dad was Italian Catholic. We really were raised a lot by our grandmother. Our grandmother was our influence and she took us to church every Sunday. And I really fell in love with the church. And I mean, so much so, you guys, like I thought it was driving me nuts. Like my picture is crooked and it's driving me nuts. I thought that I wanted to be a nun because I wanted to I thought how romantic to be married to God. Like this is amazing. I'm talking like 10 years old. And so obviously when I met them, I decided against that because they weren't very nice to me. I was like, I got scared off, but I always had this love for God. I've always wanted to have a relationship with God. So just very different than what like Leah experienced and my mom experienced. And it's just something I always wanted was that relationship. And I just wasn't getting that from Scientology. I just wasn't being fed spiritually. And that's really what I was looking for. So that's so yeah. So you picked up on that correctly. Yeah.
We've lost Jeffrey. Jeffrey, what are you doing?
I bet his uncle and aunt are getting wild.
Possibly. But no, I'm so glad you spoke about this, Nicole. And as Katie hit on as well, like, you know, people who do speak out about it are rare.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous territory to tread, really, isn't it? If we're just frank about it all.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, if something was to randomly happen to me, who else would it be? You know? But I feel like I'm such a small fish in their pond. You know, I think, you know, Leah obviously is really hitting all the targets, you know, especially now with the podcast, you know, that. And so they like took it a step further with this podcast now. They're talking about the policies of Scientology called fair game. And fair game about what legally Scientologists are how they are supposed to come after you when you speak out against them. And so they're exposing the policies of Scientology. Like it's an actual policy to go after you when you speak out against the church.
Do you think people like Kirstie Alley and Tom Cruise and that will ever leave? Hello, pussycat.
This
do
is
you think
Gus,
they would ever
guys.
leave the church?
Gus is
Or
adorable.
do you think they've got too much invested in there that it would never happen?
I think it would be very scary for Tom to leave. But I also know, you know, Tom could never necessarily speak out against the church. I mean, he knows way too much. So I don't think he ever would. But I do think you see less and less of those types of celebrities in the public eye anymore. And I think that there's, you know, to me, that's eye-opening. You know, so like John Travolta, you don't see John out about Scientology at all.
Well, and the rumors plaguing that man, and then you had the war. You know, Kirstie Alley was calling your sister all kinds of names. Like, it's crazy.
I know.
But you know, that's the thing, though. For me, like as somebody who is just looking on, like I'm raised Catholic, just looking on at Scientology from the get-go when it began, I really did feel like this is like some kind of pyramid scheme. This is all about money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it seemed like to me as just someone looking on who didn't know much about it.
Well, and I'll tell you, Luke, if you couldn't get a credit card, go to a Scientology building because they'll do anything possible to make you get a credit card. They know all the ways to manipulate the credit card companies.
Can they approve your credit rating? Is that a pro for the Scientology?
Let me go check that out.
Yeah, so because they want you to take courses, they want you to do those things, you know. So, but it's so crazy, and it's weird, you know, because for us, you know, we lost 35 years of friendships, you know, leaving Scientology. I can't tell you how many friends of mine were like, I have to be friends with you on the DL because if they find out, I'll be in so much trouble. You know, they won't let me see my kids, or they won't, you know, it's like, it's so
disgusting.
So we lost 35 years of friendship. So, you know, it was a big loss to me to lose Instagram.
Well, here's the thing, though. You know what we can't lose friends over? Wellness.
I was just going to say, I don't mean to change the subject so rapidly. What would you recommend as a starter product for someone who is looking to get into that?
Well, one of the things I would say would be reach out to Jeff, reach out to me, because we can find out exactly like what your needs are. And then I could kind of help you build around that. So that would really be, because one of the things you want to start with, especially if you have allergies, if you have inflammation, you know, anything like that, we want to start with cleaning products. But then when I hear people who they're like, you know, okay, so I have autoimmune disease, I might kind of go a little bit of a different route to start with, because I might want to start with internal health, you know? So people could reach out to me either through Jeff on social media, but I also...
What's your Instagram, actually, Nicole, so I can just add it here?
Let's get you some followers.
I don't even know what my Instagram is anymore because I have to come up. I
just realized, I'm just asking Jeff now, I'm like, what's Nicole's Instagram?
It's Nicole Remini, okay, _.
Yep.
See, I had to go like crazy. I had to get Brooklyn Girl, but I had to abbreviate Brooklyn. So BKLYN Girl.
LYN Girl. GIRL?
Yeah. So, Nicole Remini _BKLYN Girl. So, so to lose 35 years of friendship and then 20,000 people on Instagram, I was a little heartbroken. I've had a lot of loss in my life.
I totally feel you. And you know, going back to like even the products, like an interior, the vitamin pack has been so beneficial to me.
Yeah.
Where there's an AM and a PM. There's just so many amazing like I don't even know how to explain to people. And like you and I were talking, I'm like, I don't. It's just.
Well, there's
amazing.
500 products. So, like I always tell people, I can
help
you
everything,
every aspect of your life. Like I have people that go, "What skincare do you use? You're 52 years old, and like your skin." And I'm like, "It's our products." You know.
Can you repeat that for me? You're
I'm
how old?
52.
No, you're not.
Oh.
I am. I'm 52.
Oh, you go, baby. You are gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm feeling a little like worn today, but yeah, I'm 52. But like our, supplements, they're patented. They have a 90-day guarantee to get you off of high blood pressure or high cholesterol medications. 90-day guarantee. So it's like, that's amazing. And, and going back to like, isn't it still Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right?
Yeah, we're in
Yes.
October. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So parabens, so again, that thing that makes your products soft and creamy, shampoos, conditioners, body washes, face products, all of that kind of stuff. You guys, the crazy thing about that is parabens are actually starting to show up in women with breast cancer. So when they're doing the mammograms, they're seeing the breast cancer sitting right here and then parabens built up right next to it. So like, that's how crazy. It's like our bodies are changing so much. A lot of people don't, this is going to sound crazy, but it's actually the cleaning body products are literally starting to change our DNA. So it's really kind of crazy. Or women who can't get pregnant, I'm like, get the toxins off your body and out of your house. It's like, I sing and dance that song on a daily basis. How many like women do you know that you hear, they're like, we just can't get pregnant, or I can't keep a pregnancy? I'm like, get the toxic chemicals out of your house. It's like, it's crazy how it's messing.
Well, not only that, but the foods that are all processed and have all the preservatives in them, eliminate those as well. I mean,
yes, you have to.
It's huge.
And, and we can bring it back to Luke and water. When there's a what's his name, Zac Efron. He has a great Netflix show. I don't know if you guys.
Wonderful.
I haven't seen it yet. It's on my watch list.
It's wonderful. It's so good.
So good.
I mean, besides the fact that he's just looking delicious on it, it really is good.
Yeah, it's very difficult to watch him.
I'm sorry, he's a snack.
And scenes, so it's kind of nice. But
yeah, exactly.
He does a segment on water. Luke, you got to watch it. I think like just because you brought up water in the beginning, it's
definitely.
Luke's like,
I'm watching the Scientology doco and Zac Efron. Not in that order, though.
But yeah, so it's very easy, you guys. Like I said, just reach out to me or Jeff. We can help you. It's like, again, just kind of knowing what it is that you need. Like me already, Luke, I'm like, all right, I want your daughter on the, on our lotion. I want her on the probiotics. You need to change your laundry detergent,
And you know what? I am so willing to do that because I am willing to try anything to benefit her. Why not? What's it going to hurt by? Yeah. And and I want to get to the bottom of what's causing this, because it's only just been a recent thing. But it's not nice.
Well, the thing is, like, how often do we all try new products or something different to see if it works? So it's not like you're doing anything extra either. You know what I mean? Like, I just gave it a whirl. Like, this shampoo, my hair was falling out like crazy. And I switched over to that, and I don't know what it did. I mean, that's not what it's for, but it stopped falling out as much. So
and that was one of the things I was actually going to say in the beginning is even with our shampoos, how my hair, when I take a shower, isn't coming out in clumps, so I did notice that too. And like you said, it's not like, it's funny, like Khloe Kardashian, who has migraines, skin issues, Kim Kardashian, she is, what is it, psoriasis or eczema, but yet they're constantly promoting beauty products that bring on all these things. And I always tell people, listen, just because a celebrity is endorsing it doesn't even mean they use the product. I know this. Okay?
Exactly.
And who her best friend
Perfumes are a big one too. I doubt Britney wears her perfume.
No way. No, she definitely does not want to smell like urine. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I always tell people, you trust your friends, trust the people, trust real people. Not that celebrities aren't real people, but in those cases, like I said, you have like Kim Kardashian, psoriasis. The other one with the migraines, but yet all they're doing is promoting like naughty ingredient products. With the Courtney is always on Capitol Hill trying to get products to be clean and green. And then you see what they're using and eating, and I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. So you got to trust your friends. You got to trust your friends that they have some really good, clean, good solutions out there for you. And listen, I hear from people on a daily basis, like, like the next day I woke up, my wrinkle, like my 11s were gone on my face. You know, then I hear people that go, you got me off of my
I need that.
Well,
look at this.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Luke, look at this.
I'm telling
Nicole,
you.
hook this up now. As soon as we go off, I'm messaging you.
Yeah, we all need links, Nicole.
Yeah.
See how this works?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the cleaning stuff now because gotta get ready. Gotta get ready to get locked down again.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Okay, and I'm gonna say this really quick because I think we only had an hour. But when you look at why like store shelves today are still empty, right? There's still a lack of product on store shelves. And that's because everything comes from out of the country. So when manufacturers, I used to work for manufacturers. So people are like, how do you know this? Well, I worked for manufacturers rep about 10 years ago. My accounts were Method. We had Watkins, Fabuloso, Soft Soap. We did some products, Louis Vuitton beauty products for Sephora. We did, what else? Oh, I forget, all the cute little soft soap bottles like for holiday and stuff. And so when people say to me, you know, oh, Method's really clean, I'm like, oh my gosh, like Method would call me, tell me what they would need. I would tell my buyer, he'd order products and bottles from overseas. We'd bring it into the US, make the products here, but all the chemicals, all the icky stuff came from out of the country. Then it's in the holding facility, then it goes retail. But for us, you guys, everything is made in the US. So that's the other thing that I think was huge right now too. We never ran out of hand sanitizer. We never ran out of disinfectant products. And it has been probably the biggest explosion of our 35 years in business because of the coronavirus, because people needed good, clean products that they can count on. So, all right. So that's really, I know, like I can talk forever. We can be on here all night.
But that's my favorite.
A really fast hour.
I knew.
It has. It's gone so smooth. I'm so glad you came though, Nicole, because it was so lovely to meet you. Yeah, and it's really been something like informative because I am definitely going to message you. Like I'm completely doing that as soon as we get off here.
I would love that. And I love spending time with all of you. And again, we can talk about a multitude of subjects. So have me back anytime.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, you're part of the family now. You're coming back.
Yes, we would love that.
I love that. All right, you guys. Well, thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was lovely spending time with all of you. That cat is adorable. And
thank you.
Hopefully we'll hear from some of you soon. But like I said, we're available to answer questions. So just let me know.
No worries. Nicole.
Bye,
See you
Nicole.
later.
Thank you.
See you, everybody.